Ms. Aguilar. You good Chinese. We led a trade mission there, Lee, I think back in 2010, and having our young students be able to not only understand that culture, understand the language, and being able to correspond with a country that's going to be, obviously a very important trading partner with us in the future, a competitor. Just like those Aggies and Longhorns compete. It's, it is, I think, very wise for schools like TJ to be having these programs. And Amir, I want to say again, thank you. And to the trustees of the school and the administrators, I want to say a particular thanks to each of you for your service, sacrifice, and for diving in to the arena and giving back to this community. So to all of you, from Thomas Jefferson to Dallas ISD, thank you for the work that you do. And it was just a week or so ago, Royce, that we had what I consider to be some really great news when we saw the SAT numbers of kids taking the SAT scores just soared over the course of the last 5 years. Particularly among our state's minority students. And that was a great signal that young men and women, I'm pretty sure they're not going to take the SAT because they don't have anything else to do on a Saturday. So, I mean, this is a dedicated effort by administrators, by parents, by students to prepare for that next step in life, and that's to go to college. And that was the message there. And so, to each of these members of the legislature, to Chairman Branch and to Royce and to all of you members of the legislature that are here today, I think it's a great salute to you that you have helped create the pathway forward in the state of Texas. That's just some pretty incredible numbers when you look at the percentage increase of those young people of taking the SAT. And as many of the legislatures here today can attest, the state has taken an initiative in many ways to encourage these students to reach for the stars, if you will, to reach for their dreams. Just today, the Texas Education Agency announced a new website. It's called texascollegeandcareer.org. Helps match up students with information about their collegiate and career goals. However, beyond our efforts, there's this growing realization among today's students, as Ms. Aguilar is a great example of, you're going to need more than just a high school education if you're going to compete in this global marketplace that we find ourselves in. More and more young Texans of all backgrounds are thinking of college as this vital component of their personal success story. They're taking the active steps to get themselves to that point. As state officials, we have to do everything that we can to remove roadblocks that you all see, Cody, and your path forward as you pursue your success. That's why I'm calling for a tuition freeze for incoming freshmen for a 4-year period of time so that there's stability, there's predictability in that young person's outlay of cash from that university. Not only will that give the students cost certainty heading into their education, it'll also provide a very powerful incentive for you to get in and get out in that 4-year period of time. Currently, less than 30% of students at Texas 4-year institutions graduate in 4 years. Let me repeat that. Less than 30% of our students graduate in 4 years. Only 58% of our students have their degree in 6 years. That is a system that can be and must be improved. That's why we also need to link a portion of every university's funding to student outcomes. Under the existing formula, universities' funding is based primarily upon enrollment. But I'm calling for a portion of those funds, 10%, to be tied to how many of those students are actually receiving degrees, so that the university has some incentive. They have some skin in the game, if you will. Put simply, put it in Aggie terms here, Ms. Aguilar. So if you're not graduating your students, you'll get less state funding. This will encourage universities to do everything they can to help their students complete their degrees, graduate in a timely fashion. Along those lines, we're going to make sure students have a clear picture of what's at stake when it comes to graduating on time from their perspective by requiring those universities to inform students how much they'll spend on their degree if they graduate in 4 years, or how much more it'll cost if they take 5 years, or in some cases 6 years. Last year, if you'll recall, during the State of the State address, I called on colleges and universities to develop and implement degree programs that cost no more than $10,000. Now, there were some pushback in some areas. There were some folks that insisted that couldn't be done. Everybody else got to work on seeing how they could do that. And now we have 9 institutions in the state that have announced programs to meet that challenge, including the University of Texas Arlington and over in your district. And more is in the development as we speak. Implementing these measures will meet this growing demand for higher education in a way that provides encouragement for students to complete their degree in a timely fashion with financial certainty, with the stability of knowing what this degree is going to cost. The average debt of Texas graduates is still lower than the national average, and these steps that we're taking is meant to keep it that way.